For a long time now, I've been wanting to do a direct comparison between our Aldi awning and our King's ones that we've got on the trailer. And there are some differences that I've noticed, and I've only just had a brief look this morning. This is the first time I've ever had them all set up at the same time. But let's just have a look at some of the things that the Aldi has that the King's doesn't. Now, one of the first things I noticed early on were these pins that go through from the arm that comes out to support it from the vehicle. So that's this one here. On the Aldi, the pin is the full length. It goes through both the holes on the side piece. It does that on both ends. On the King's one, and we'll have a look at it now, you can just about see it in there. It comes through the first one, but ends about halfway through, doesn't go through the second hole. So although that second hole is available, they make that too short to go all the way through it. And it will go a little bit further than it is at the moment, if I push, but still it's only about halfway through. So that's a fairly simple thing that could be changed to give it just a little bit more strength. The other thing I've noticed is the bottom of the feet. With the King's one, they've just got the little stoppers. So it's fairly easy for the wind or whatever to knock that out of position if you've got something else against it. Whereas the Aldi one actually has a pin at the bottom of the feet. As you can see there, and that is for pushing it into the ground, and the pole will stay more secure. So that's an initial couple of things. What I'm doing now is just looking to see what other differences I can find between these two awnings. The Aldi is a single piece, as you'll note. The cloth goes all the way from one end to the other, no joins in it. The King's one here, you can see there is a join in the centre. Now, I haven't had any problems with that to date. There hasn't been any splits or anything happening with it, but just another example of a difference. And you know, I've complained about the Velcro on the King's before being too short. It's not too short on all of them, I've noticed. It's just some, so there's a production problem. They're not, here's another one that's come undone. They're not actually short on all of them, but sloppy production, I suggest, is the reason for that. This is the Aldi one here, and you can see the Velcro is long enough to go all the way to the end, and it does that on all of them. So whoever is making these for Aldi has got a better production process, and they're checking things properly. One thing I don't like about the Aldi is the zips end on the flat. They could go around the corner a bit. They just make it a bit tight when you're rolling this back up. It's a little bit more difficult to get the main bar back in place before you zip it up. Just both ends here, you can see they end here. They don't go around the corner. Now, I believe I'm correct in saying the King's actually does go up around that corner a little bit. Well, actually, no, I was wrong. So what must have happened here, King's must have made these covers just a little bit longer than Aldi has. So that's one thing in favour of the King's, because it's easier to get these folded up than it is the Aldi. The Aldi's just a little bit fiddly. I haven't had a major problem with it, but it's just a niggly problem. Now we're just going to have a quick look at the connections on each, just to have a comparison. This is the King's, and you can see they've got some plastic inserts here before you get to the connection for the down bar. And we have some stainless steel screws there holding it together, and that's screwed in. We have metal, and the pole is riveted. So let's compare that now to the Aldi one. So the plastic insert there on the Aldi isn't as long. In the King's one, it actually covers up that pin. I don't know whether one of those is a benefit or not. The screw mechanism and the down bar here look pretty similar. Although I can't see much to choose between the two there. The one thing I note is that the bar on the Aldi here to hold the canvas doesn't have any screws holding it on, so maybe that's welded. I can't see the top from here, so I'm not quite sure of that. But definitely on the King's one, there were some screws on that. The inner connections on the car side, pretty similar, just metal. She's not riveted on this one, I think. That's a screw going in there, so that's removable. So presumably, if you damage your bar work, you can replace these more easily. Yeah, that's definitely a screw head on there, not a rivet. So again, a little difference, but other than that, not much difference that I can see. This is the Aldi one, and this is the King's one on the vehicle side, in this case on the trailer side. So I don't think there's much to choose between the connections. So apart from the things I've already mentioned, they are pretty similar products. We haven't had the Kings as long as we've had the Aldi. The Aldi is now several years old. I would have to check and see how many years we've had it. I would say at least 4 at this stage. It hasn't seen a huge amount of use, but it's been sitting up there on the vehicle and it's still in good condition. So no deterioration that I can detect in the cover or the material. The Kings are only a year old, but again, no complaints about the material. The little hanging section here's got nothing to do with the King's canvas. This is actually ARB, and this is for the second annex that we can put up. I just leave that slid into the bar so I know where it is and I don't have to go looking for it when I want it. Now, if I was feeling more energetic, I would actually get the XTM out and have a look at that as well. But I think I'll leave that for another time, and we'll check that one out at some later date, and then we can compare it to the Aldi and the King's ones.